Trends are part of our lives. Each one is reflected in our lifestyle differently. We already know that trendsetters are responsible for spreading them around the world. But where do they come from? Or rather, where do trends tend to emerge more easily and spread faster? At this point, we already know who is spreading the trends, but now we must learn where they might emerge. Let's find out.
In the 90s, Paris was one of the most influential countries in literature and cinema. It became one of the most popular countries where many American artists live. All of these met in public places like coffees and bars, where philosophers, writers, actors, and musicians could meet and be inspired. The new fashion was born where the minimalist style of black clothing was the key in dressing for both men and women. Fashion magazines and clothing manufacturers turned to Paris for inspiration, adding fragrance to their sales method. Gastronomy marked a before and after in the style that we can find today in an elite restaurant. It also stood out for its beautiful architecture, its international exhibitions, and its museums.
London influenced street fashion and the modernist style. It was the work of trendsetters, especially young people. Some inspiration gave rise of this fashion style, such as the music and public image of the Beatles. As time passed, the fashion tended to change, and people opted for more elegant and nostalgic style. The different groups of people that live in Britain might be celebrities, wealthy people, or gay, which made the country more attractive.
Milan stands out for its quality of life, the long tradition of skilled craftsmen, and its aesthetic. It is home to many of Italy's furniture and industrial designers. It may well have the highest number of creative people per capita of any major city in the world. Since the 1980s, young European designers have traveled to Milan in search of training and work. They have more clothing stores than any other country, as it has famous fashion designers such as Giorgio Armani, Versace, and Dolce Gabbana. It is also the financial center of the nation, connecting many wealthy people to the city.
As we see, Paris is an important city that has been the home of many artists. All of this has meeting points, especially cafes and jazz bars. In addition, there is a sense of fashion, where the minimalist style of black clothing occupies the first place since it influenced both women's and men's fashion. A turnkey sweater for men and short skirts and accessory berets for women were the key to a neutral ensemble, this being the business style. However, this is also where the best known clothing ensemble in Paris was born, the bikini. And so, over time, fragrances also take their places of importance in the meal. Finally, there is a great gastronomic potential, where French chefs have an enormous influence in the kitchen for centuries. Here, the utensils, ingredients, spices, portions, and others market a style of gastronomic world that is still seen in many elite restaurants.
Mentioning the next city, let's move to London. It maintains relevance due to its influence and style and global taste in fashion, made the street fashion created by young English modernists the most important. It began with the mode style, wearing tight jackets and pants, next the sun in London, characterized by the miniskirts, go-go boots, shoulder bags, crochet vest, and the girly look. Later, the skinhead, which was a raw, aggressive, and working-class-inspired style wearing skinny jeans, suspended Don Martens boots, tattoos, and eventually a shaved head. Then punk, which include ripped black clothing, boots, mohawk hairstyles, and bright hair colors. And in the end, following the principle from one extreme to the other in trends, we find the Sloane Ranger, which was an elegant and nostalgic style of dress, being the complete antithesis of the punk style. However, even the many changes and diverse style of fashion, London was not only of trend for it, but it was also the most important artistic center in the world. From ancient times to the present, London has been home to many artists or members belonging to that area.
And finally, we arrive in Milan, the center of the most innovating cultures producing durable consumer goods. Here we find skilled craftsmen, in combination with Italian aesthetic, creating together the most famous Italian tradition that has made the city the focus of attention of many. Artists excel in all areas of products because of their mentality and behavior of not giving up. Here the typical that can be done of many other craftsmen is used as an example against the last try of the Italians. It is because of this psychology and behavior that they stand out and mark an influence of lifestyle, fashion, food, and furniture in the world. From all this, it's not surprising that Milan is the home of many industrial designers, as well as artists, architects, photographers, critics, publishers, and craftsmen, to name a few.
Our conclusion is based on how each one of these cities has distinctive characteristics that make it stand out from the others. At the same time, that all of these are related to each other. To better understand it, let's review each one quickly and generally. Paris was considered the most center of fashion, fragrance, and food. London had a history of fashion evolution that set style in young people. In addition to the art that spread throughout the world, and Milan, which stood out for its craftsmanship, where architecture, furniture, and interior design are the representation of the tradition of the place.
As we know, even over time, these cities continue to be fashionable and constant tourist spots in the lives of many. But we also think that more cities in Europe could fall in this category, such as Madrid, Rome, Berlin, Vienna, Barcelona, Venice, or Florence. In the end, both the cities have seen in the class and those just mentioned were, are, and will be very important marking lifestyles, points of attraction, and trends.